Kiki, I'm not sure. This is what I don't understand. Y'all, this is a show. Y'all admit this is a game show. This is not for real, right? This is a show. So I don't understand why people ever come on Ready to Love or any other show where you're vying for to get chosen for relationships or whatever. And you get so mad and so upset and so jealous when the person is talking to someone else when that's kind of how the show goes. Like, this isn't real life. Obviously, if this was real life and he was really your boyfriend and doing that, absolutely, I understand. But y'all are on a show where the whole point is we have multiple connections, multiple people we're talking to. Just because you don't have anybody else, you know what I'm saying? I don't get why women and men get so upset. I'm like, this is a show. This is not for real. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Mini Thoughts with Dr.T. I hope y'all doing well. Today we are reviewing Ready to Love season 10, episode, I think it's 9, but don't worry because the description will be right. Whatever the description says, that's the episode. I can't keep up with all the different episodes and stuff, especially after you take like 3 months off, right, from the show. But anyway, they back. So every season already to love they take a trip. Okay, so it's time for them to take their trip. And it was so funny because Cisco was like, oh, really excited because he stay in that room, in the basement somewhere. So he was like, oh yeah, woo, yeah, So Cisco was like super excited to get away. And then I also noticed that they have a bus this year. I said, come on, budget, come on. Yeah, so they got a little budget and whatnot. But then I also thought it's kind of a trick bag because you can't leave, right? Because I know in previous seasons, like people might get mad or try to self eliminate, and they always drive so they can just bounce. But when they were on that bus, I was like, dang, everybody's kind of stuck. But it seems like they're only there for 2 days. I mean, I'm surprised. I thought they would at least give them 3 to 4 days. 2 days. Um, so it's like while I was saying that their budget was good, maybe it's not so good because it's like 2 days. 2 days. Maybe they should have had them everybody drive and they could have used that money for they spent on that bus to at least get them an extra day. But anyway, that's neither there. Okay. So on the bus, they show us Cam is seated with Sahara. And again, y'all, I just think Cam sees Sahara as somebody to get under control. I think he likes the challenge of like that wild spirit. Cause I've been saying it, I've been calling it, I've been clocking it from day one. He is very controlling. He is. And so I just feel like that's why he's attracted to her. Cause he likes to like, yeah, I'm the one that can manage her, what I mean, keep her in line, all those little phrases he be using. Um, and then so once they got there, Hussein started talking about this was the second time we heard this. I think one of the ladies mentioned it, and then he mentioned it himself, talking about skinny dipping. Like I wasn't playing about that skinny dipping. I told y'all last episode about Hussein. All right, all his friends wanted to talk about was sex and positions, and he's a sex addict, and now here he is talking about skinny dipping. I'm just saying, I'm clocking it again. Okay, so then Jay and Sahara. So they show us this scene. Jay and Sahara are on the couch, and it sounds like to me Jay has friends on Sahara. He's like, yeah, I really don't want to call her a sis because that would mean I put her in the friend zone. But we just real cool. I'm like, basically, your friend zoned her without saying it. Um, I think he likes her company, but says he hasn't crossed the line with her. And y'all know, I always say, like, if a guy likes you in that way, he's gonna cross the line in a way to let you know, hey, I like you more than just a friend. whatever that may be. It may be a comment, like, oh yeah, I seen you in that dress, or something that you're gonna be like, oh, okay, he sees me more than just a sis. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that he hasn't crossed the line with her further tells me that he just sees her as a friend. Um, yeah, I I don't understand what's going on here. Um, and then too, y'all, it's like I always hate when men do this to women. It's like they in their mind they're thinking, okay, I don't like her like that, she's just a cool friend. That's what they're thinking. But they show you just enough interest where they kind of confuse the women. This happens so much. So then the woman is thinking, oh, he might like me. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like this is what Jay is doing. And sometimes I don't know if men are doing this intentionally or not. I think to them it's like, oh, she's just somebody to I can spend my time with, so I don't gotta be alone. But I don't really want her like that. But just somebody I can call, I can text, I can go out to eat with. Whole time, the woman's thinking, oh, okay, he's into me. And he's not. That happens so much. Um, and I have three sons, so that's something I'm very conscious of, and that I want to teach my sons about as well, especially my 7-year old. My 7-year old Jalen, if you looked up charismatic in the dictionary, like it would be his picture. I mean, he just has like an aura around him. He always has, even since he was 2. He's a tiny thing, but he's very articulate, his language, the way he thinks. So he expresses himself very much older than he is. And so, people are always just captivated by him. And not even, definitely adults, but not even, at his grade level. I'm like, do you have any friends that are guys? I mean, like, all the little girls love him so much. He's 7, so but as he gets older, that is a conversation I'll have to have with him about leading women on, even unintentionally. You really have to be careful. If y'all, I've been at a playground. This has happened multiple times where I go to a playground and you know what my son's doing? He's off in the corner sitting down talking to a girl about what at 7? I don't even know. We were at Urban Air one time, and which is like one of those big play places that has all the stuff, jump in and all the stuff. I think I was pregnant with one of my other sons, and I couldn't find him. And we were there with another couple. And the other couple we were with, the young lady, she's really petite. She was like, I'm gonna climb up in there and see if I can find him. I was like, okay, thank you so much. Because I knew he was in the little play place, but it had been so long and I never seen him come out. So she went in there and she comes out busting out laughing. She was like, girl, he was like all the way at the top, sitting Indian style, talking to some girl. I was like, about what? Like, they're 7. She was like, I don't know. But my point is, he's very relational. And like I said, it's just charismatic. So that's definitely something I have to talk to him about. You got to be careful not to lead, girls on. Don't do too much, right? If that's not your girlfriend, you don't need to be texting her all the time. You shouldn't be giving her a morning text. You shouldn't be, I'm not saying never, but I'm saying it shouldn't be a consistent thing. You shouldn't be taking her, y'all shouldn't be going out all the time to eat. You shouldn't be paying for it all the time. You know what I'm saying? All of those are things that boyfriends do. So that's something that, I want to make sure they know. If she's a friend, she needs to know she's a friend, right? You like, don't confuse and play with their feelings just because you want somebody to talk to and you want somebody to text. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, was that a tangent? Okay, that was kind of a tangent. All right. I'm back. I'm back. So anyway, yeah, that just bothered me. I don't know what Jay is doing. I said I had 4 options. Okay. He is either trying to make Tay mad, one, um, trying to show that Tay can't run him because Tay was like, yeah, because and you better da, da, da. So I don't know if that was it. Like, yeah, you're not about to tell me what to do. And that's why he was doing this. Um, 3, he's trying not to get voted off. Um, because when they vote, if they know that okay, you just want Tay, then they may potentially vote him off because I mean you're not an option for any of us. So I don't know if he's trying to keep that door open with Sahara just so that she would make sure he stayed, or Option four, he doesn't like her, and I just don't know what he's doing. Maybe he just likes the energy, that whole spicy thing that we'll talk about later. So that was that. And Tay was hot about this, by the way. It was so funny because you could see Jay kind of cutting his eye, like looking at Tay, like he was like he wanted to oblige Sahara and give her the massage, but not for real. It was hilarious, and Tay was just steaming mad. Everybody in the kitchen was like, "What's happening over there?" Um, so then I'm sorry, not Tay, Kiki. I don't know why I keep getting them confused. Kiki. Okay. Yeah, so with Kiki, I'm not sure. This is what I don't understand. Y'all, this is a show. Y'all admit this is a game show. This is not for real, right? This is a show. So I don't understand why people ever come on Ready to Love or any other show where you're vying for to get chosen for relationships or whatever, and you get so mad and so upset and so jealous when the person is talking to someone else, when that's kind of how the show goes. Like, this isn't real life. Obviously, if this was real life and he was really your boyfriend and doing that, absolutely, I understand. But y'all are on a show where the whole point is we have multiple connections, multiple people we're talking to. Just because you don't have anybody else, you know what I'm saying? I don't get why women and men get so upset. I'm like, this is a show. This is not for real. And so, yeah, I just didn't understand why Kiki was getting herself worked up like that. But we'll discuss that a little bit more later. So then we go over to Cam and Rose. So Rose bought Cam some shirts. Um, I don't know, y'all. Like I said, if this was real life, that's beautiful. I love it. Take care of your man. I just thought she was doing too much. I just can't get out of my head what her ex said about how she's very smothering. And so every time I see her doing stuff like this, it's like, dang, you doing too much. Like just wait. You know, if he chooses you, right, at the end of this, then okay, yeah. But it's like just don't do too much, Rose. Don't do too much, okay? And I'm a great reader of people. I still can't quite tell with Rose if it's genuine or if it's a form of desperation. Like, let me do this so you might choose me over the others. You know, I can't quite tell. Um and then two, don't ever forget, y'all, episode 1. I don't understand why she's so into him because she told us that religion, spirituality was number one, and her man had to be spiritual. And Kim already said, I'm not going for that. Like, I'm not about to be in no church. And so I don't understand why she's continued to pursue Cam. She's just going to be so disappointed when he like, yeah, I said I wasn't going. Um, Cam as well, I think out of all the men on the show, I think he's the most charismatic with each of the ladies. Um, Again, I'm really good. I can read people, but he's so good. I really can't tell who he's feeling either. I know not Angie, and we'll talk about that later. But between Rose and Sahara, I almost feel like he likes each one of them equally for different reasons, if you will. Um, But like we just talked about, I do like how Rose did recognize that this is a game show and this is not for real. And she's not jealous and she is exploring her options and she's giving Cam space as well and Hussein. And she's like, listen, I understand we're here to explore our options. So I do like that. That she's not getting so worked up about that. Oh yeah, I got some okay. Um, but I kind of feel bad for Rose. Unfortunately, she has two terrible options in Cam, controlling Cam and sex addict Hussein. So I kind of feel bad for her. Like, she's not going to win in this either way, unless, you know, how sometimes at the end, of like, I choose myself. Yeah. So unless she chooses herself, it's not looking good, Rose. All right, so then we get into this whole conversation about toxic versus spicy. So this involved Cam and Khalil and Angie and Kiki or Tay. I don't know why I think they're the same person. One of them. Okay. So they were saying that toxic is negative and spicy is like the positive part of toxic, I guess. Um, And then Cam and Khalil say your energy should never turn to toxic and that you just need to be above it and then you should never let anybody take you there. And Angie was infuriated by this and was like, nah, because I think they asked her, had she ever busted windows out of a car before? And she was like, yeah, I've done that. Like, what you mean? First of all, raise your hand if you're surprised, because I was not. Let's recount. Y'all, she drove herself to the hospital while she was in labor. Let's not forget. I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, but I'm gonna have to bring this up every episode. When she said that, I already knew. I already knew. Um, she best friends with that ex. That's her best friend. Is her ex. Strike number two. Strike number three. She said, "Remember?" She said, "Well, I love to pick fights because I think of the makeup." Strike number three, y'all. Now she busting windows. It's a lie. It's a lie. I don't know why any of the guys would want to be with Angie. Okay. And I think Kim was starting to realize that she it's gonna be a wild ride if you pick Angie. So I think Kim was starting to realize that, you know, I try to be with the women, but I'm gonna have to be with the men on this. And I always say, like, I'm not above it. I'm gonna have to tell you, I'm above it. I'm above it here. Like, a big reason is because I'm an only child. So, do y'all hear that? It's the sound of peace. This is what I've been used to for 18 years of my life. Nothing. I'm not used to people slamming doors and give me that, and that's not fair. I'm gonna tell mama. Da, da. Y'all hear it? It's nothing. So it takes a lot. Basically, and I told you I'm married, but I always say if anything ever happened to me and my husband, like, I probably wouldn't get married again because I just can't with the shenanigans. Like, I can't, like, I just can't do it. I'm just used to peace. I just am. And I just toxic, not toxic, doing too much. I just can't. Like, if you're doing anything to affect my peace, like, I am fine being by myself because I've always been by myself for 18 years. I don't need a bunch of people. I don't need too much. I just need my shows, my YouTube shows, and some chocolate chip cookies fresh out the oven, and I'm good. I don't need too much. And so I'm hoping this is true. Let me think. I don't think anybody can recount a story where I was being crazy and I did something. You will never see me sweat ever over no guy. I will never be arguing and fighting over no man. Since you can have them, good luck. Like, I always been like that. Like, please, please, like, no. I will cut you off so quick, respectfully. And that's why I say I probably would never get married again and never ever had nobody again because I will just cut you off. Like, and again, I'm talking about something serious. You talk about, there's levels of toxicity. I'm talking about some old like cheating, infidelity. You was talking to some girl. Like, no, no, no. So I was kind of with, let me see, I'm kind of jumping around. So Hussein, so then after that, Hussein and Rose were kind of talking about it because they were obviously all in the kitchen. And Rose says she has a three strikes and you're out policy. And Hussein says he struggles with just one. And so with this, like I said, if you're talking about some infidelity type of stuff, I'm with Hussein on that. Like, it's a no. I don't got time. I don't got time to be wondering. Let's say we make up and then you're like, I'm going to Walmart. And I'm like, what? When you gonna be back? I don't got time for that. Who you texting? What? I don't know. I'm not doing any of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with Hussein on that. However, I'm with Rose on the three strikes because if you're talking, if we're not talking about infidelity, if we're just talking about personality things, you got to extend people grace at the same time. Nobody's perfect. We're all going to mess up in relationships. And again, I'm not talking about nothing crazy, domestic violence, yelling. I ain't talking about that. But I'm just saying, nobody's perfect. We're going to offend each other and get on each other's nerves. That's a part of it. So I'm cool on that. But again, don't do too much. Don't do too much. Don't do it too many times. But, yeah, I was concerned because I didn't know which one Hussein was talking about. Is he talking about when he says he struggles with just giving somebody even one pass? is he talking about infidelity and stuff, or is he talking about just normal everyday stuff? So I was a little concerned about that because you're two different people from two different walks of life. Like you're going to offend each other or do something. You talk through it, you get through it. Hey, I don't like when you do this. This is making me uncomfortable. You move forward. So I was wondering with Hussein saying, yeah, so I struggle because I stand on it. And I was like, I think Rose would have to dig in a little bit deeper and see what that's about because, like I tell y'all, like the quickest way to end a relationship, to get divorced, is being with somebody who's like that, where, because you should be able to come to your significant other and say, hey, something you're doing is making me uncomfortable, or I really didn't like this. And if they really care about you, they should be able to listen to your heart, listen to what you're saying, and make an adjustment. It might not be overnight or whatever, but when you're with somebody like, well, I mean, that's just what it is. That's just who I am. I mean, I ain't got, if you with somebody like that, you in for a long ride. And so when he said that he only gives somebody one pass, that concerned me. But again, maybe he's saying, like I'm saying, maybe he's talking about real serious stuff. So we just got to keep an eye out for that. And then Kiki was saying that she would turn up if the action's warranted because she matches energy and all that. I ain't matching nobody energy. I'm just not doing that. You can have them. And it's respectfully too. Like it's no hard feelings. Like, I love you. It's all good. We just can't be together. You see what I'm saying? So she matching energy, Angie busting out windows. And it just goes back to the spicy and toxic thing. And the guys were trying to separate the two, but the problem with that, I think more times than not, the line between spicy and toxic is razor thin. It's so thin. Most of the times, the women that are spicy, they can turn that thing. It can be toxic real quick. Okay, like Kiki was saying. So I think you men got to be careful with that because they do some men. Some men like women that are more calm, but some men do like a woman that's more spicy and boy, what you say? And doing all of this and that. But you gotta be careful because if you cross them, okay. And Jay is finding that out. All right. So anyway, so we move on to Francisco and Tay. I still don't know what Tay is doing. I don't know. Tay, he don't have no car. He don't have his own place. I'm not sure what's happening here. They've chosen to share a room together. Um and then so they were playing some game, and I think it's like truth or dare, and I think Tay got dared to give a lap dance to her number one, which of course she gave a lap dance to Cisco. And then Khalil was like, yeah, kind of surprised me. I was like, Khalil, you do not have a chance with Tay. I don't know what you're talking about. And I love Khalil. He's so sweet, but he probably gonna get kicked off because he doesn't really have a for real match at this point. So I just thought that was funny that he was like, oh, I gotta put in more work with Tay. Like, no, no. Um, and two, I told y'all one of the ideas I had, I think there should be an option called a love connection. Okay. And that's when two people know, like, hey, me and you clearly want to be together. And you could go to the producers and say, okay, we found our love connection. And that way you don't have to like self eliminate and it be negative, but it'd be more positive things. That's allegedly the whole point of the show, right? So that way you don't have to drag it out and you don't have to pretend to like somebody else so that you get enough votes to stay on the show and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think Francisco and Tay would be a great example of that because they clearly only like each other. You know what I mean? So I think that they should be able to say, hey, or maybe they even get to stay on the show. I don't know, but they get to do it that way. All right. So then we go to Rose and Hussein. So Rose is sharing a room with Hussein. That's what I be saying. Like, you doing too much, Rose. Why are you doing that? If you I don't know, that's just odd to me. I think if you have, I get it with Francisco and Tay because they only like each other. But if you have more than one option, like why would you share a room with one of the options? That didn't make any sense to me. Um, I don't know. I didn't get that part. Again, I think she's buying shirts for one. She's making sure she's in the room of another. I just think she's doing too much. And she's always just talking off both sides of her mouth. Because she says, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely not doing anything with him, but I mean, if I get cold, I'm gonna definitely get in his bed." So I don't know. I just think Rose is all over the place. Um, but too with these two, I haven't seen. Maybe I missed it. I haven't seen any physical touch between the two. So again, a man is always going to let you know. He's going to do something to let you know I like you beyond a friend. And then if a man likes you, there should be some hugging or playful, something going on. I just haven't seen them touch each other at all. Even in this scene, like she was on her bed, he was in his bed. We seen in a lot of the other scenes, like they were on the same bed or they were hugging or they were talking with the arm around or something. And they were like completely separate. So I don't know. I don't know if Hussein doesn't like her like that, or maybe he doesn't want to do too much. I don't know what's going on with them, but I can't see. I see a more of a connection between her and Cam, which I said unfortunately she has two bad options. But so then we move to Kiki and Jay. So remember, we started off with Jay was talking to Sahara on that couch. They were kind of hugging. He was giving her a massage, and Kiki was livid about that. So she hasn't let that go. She's so upset. So Jay goes to her room to apologize, but she's not even trying to hear him at all. She tells him that she set clear boundaries and he crossed them. And she thinks that Jay made her look stupid. Again, y'all, I was like, I can't really be with Kiki on this because it's like it's a show. Why are you tripping? Like, this is not real life. You know what I'm saying? Again, if this was real and not a show, then of course. But it's like it's okay. Everybody that's has multiple connections is cool. But she was so upset. She wouldn't accept his apology. And y'all, this was what I'm saying. This is what spicy looks like. Like it's good until it's not. You see what I'm saying? So she's closed off, won't communicate, won't hear his side, attitude. Um, and it's like, Jay, this is what life with Kiki would look like when you mess up, when you do something wrong. And like I said, like nobody's perfect when you're in a relationship. You're gonna offend each other, you're gonna do things here and there. And this would be your life, Jay, every single time. Closed off, won't communicate, won't hear your side, attitude, the whole nine. Um But I will say to Kiki's point, I think that Jay didn't do a good job of saying whether or not he agreed to her boundaries. I think that was the disconnect because they clearly showed us on the bus. Kiki was like, now look, keep it cute. But see, what he was doing every time let's just take it as for example. If she said, keep it cute, he would be like, "Oh no, you the cute one." You know what I'm saying? Like he kept doing that little game instead of saying, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you right, I will." Or, I mean, remember we got other connections. He didn't really say either way what he was doing. He kept just joking with her back and forth like that. Um, or she might say, I want you to be in anybody else's face. Oh, you the only face I like. He kept doing too much joking. So I think it was very unclear. Maybe in his mind, he thought by doing those little jokes, like I didn't tell her I was going, you see what I'm saying? So I just think it was tricky. So maybe she's thinking, well, I told him my boundaries, but I don't think he really agreed to those boundaries. He kept kind of doing a joke so he could sliver out of it. And it was just ended up bad for both of them. Um, and two, y'all, this is why I think it's so important to date people for an extended amount of time. I always say for at least 2 years, you need to see them in different type of circumstances and situations so you can know how they react. So again, this was an excellent opportunity because it's all been sunshines and roses so far. But now Jay is able to say, so if I do something that you don't like, this is how I'm going to get treated. I don't think he internalized it like that because he was like, okay, I just got to get back on the good side and we'll be good again. But I'm like, this is good to see how people act in different situations. Um, to see if that's somebody that you would like to be with for a prolonged period of time. Um, and I just think by the time you get to your 30s, I think that your communication has to be on another level. So it's like, Kiki, I understand that you're upset, but in your 30s, you need to be able to sit down and talk to somebody. Like, that's a big thing with me. Like, I don't really like, and again, like I said, I'm not above this because when I was younger, when I just got married, I would definitely do the whole passive aggressive, sending him like 5 pages of text, text messages, and all of that. But at this point, like I said, I'm in my 30s now. We're able to sit down and say, okay, this is how I seen this. How did you see it? And try to figure it out that way with the whole I'm not talking to you and get out and yelling and all of that. I just wouldn't really be with it. I would be concerned if I was Jay. So then let's see, is this our last scene? Yeah, so then Deanna and Khalil. Y'all, I don't even know where this came from. I definitely don't think they're not a I definitely do not think they're a match. Definitely just friends, even if that. I think they're both just being nice to each other. I feel like if you're still questioning if you're a match for somebody on episode 9 this far in the process, it's a no. Again, I haven't seen any physical touch. I haven't seen him do anything to say, "Hey, I like you," past a friend. I haven't seen her do anything to say, "I like you," past a friend. Because women will do that too. She might grab your arm or something. I haven't seen anything, so I don't even know why they were both wasting time here. Um, and I really like Khalil. I think Khalil is one of the sweetest guys that's on the show. Um, and it's probably good that he not getting nobody off the show because yeah. I think Deanna is too much for him. I think he's sweet and he needs somebody with a softer personality. And I think he picked up on that too. He's very observant. So he was trying to see if I guess his whole point was to see if there was anything there. So one of the questions he asked is he asked her what she would expect the man to do at home. And I couldn't wait to hear this because I already told y'all Deanna, when she gets in a relationship, her whole goal is to prove to that man that whatever you can do, I can do. Okay. And I probably can do it better because I'm a firefighter. Okay. That's like her whole mission in life. Don't forget with Hussein is 6'7". It was a big horse and a little horse. Deanna said, "Oh, I'm taking the big horse." It's like, but Deanna, he's 6'7". Why would you do that? Because she got to prove I can ride the big horse too. That's her whole thing. Okay. Um, so Deanna said she would expect a man to take out the trash, very stereotypical, and fix up, a little paint and stuff. I said, "Girl, what? How often is he gonna be fixing up paint? Like what?" And she said, "Pretty much everything else I can manage." I fell out laughing. I was like, "I knew it. I know you can manage everything." Y'all, Deanna just, I don't know. I think you know what? There are different kind of men. I think Deanna is going to need to get with a man that is. I hate using the whole type A, type B, alpha male thing, but I think she does need to. She's gonna have to for it to work. Be with a man that is way laid back and way reserved and is gonna let his woman run it. Y'all probably know people in relationships like that where the woman just run that whole show. That's the type of man she needs to look for. But the ironic thing about it is women that are very aggressive like that, they always want an alpha man. And I'm just like, no, that's not what you need. Y'all not gonna work. Y'all gonna be butting heads. So yeah, she's gonna have to be in a relationship where the man's gonna let her run it. Because she's just gonna be in competition at every turn to prove that now I got it. She probably gonna still be trying to take out the trash. Um And it's like, because I think she also mentioned that a lot of people tell her that she has masculine energy. It's like, yeah, girl, yeah. It's okay when multiple people tell you something, especially when multiple people tell you something that don't know each other. Y'all got to listen, okay? People are not just out here making up stuff. If you're just hearing it from one person, okay, I give you that. But if multiple people are telling you something about yourself, you might want to take it into account. It could be true, okay? So I'm like, yeah, Deanna. Deanna has to learn, and I'll be transparent. I had to learn this too, especially early on. I'm way better now. It's not about whether you can do it or not, whatever the task may be. It's the fact that you don't have to. You don't have to if you have a man. right? So it's not about, well, I can do that and I can, we understand that and that's cool. But if you have a man, it's okay. He can do it for you. Like, let him do it, you know? 'Cause like I said, I used to be like that too when I was young. Cause I have a unlimited supply of battery that's always in my back. And, I enjoy doing all the things and all the tasks. It actually, I get off on it. I enjoy it. It's not a thing of where I'm trying to dominate or anything, but I just enjoy it. And that was fine when it was just me and my husband. It was even fine when it was me and my husband and my oldest son. Now that it's me and my husband, we have 3 sons. I had to realize, like, I can't do that anymore. Imma burn myself out. Can I? Yeah, I can. But I definitely had to put a system in place where me and my husband sit down weekly, and I say, like, "Okay, these are all the things I need help with, this, and this." You know what I'm saying? And I understand, like, it took a lot for me to do that because I don't like asking for help. I do like doing all of it, but I did have to humble myself and say, "Okay, I gotta ask for help. I can't be out here doing all of this stuff, and, working a job and, being a professor and podcasting. It's too much." You see what I'm saying? So I think Deanna has to come to that same realization. There's power in letting it go. A lot of women, we see that as weakness, but there's actually power in saying, "Hey, I need help. Can you help me? Can you take this task off my plate?" And yeah, Deanna is gonna have to get there. So that's all I have, y'all. That was episode 9. I don't know how many episodes there are. I don't I would say there probably have to at least be 2 more. So maybe they're gonna go to 10 or 11. All right, but I will see you guys next time. See ya.